Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Picked up a random chapstick. This one is Candy Cane. Went out and checked my mail, so we're gonna see what it is. You already know what it is because you've seen the title of the video. Jan and I will have our collab video up tomorrow with this palette and what our first impressions are of it. And you will want to make sure you see that video. Excuse this eye. I used the Melt Earth palette yesterday. I'm just unwrapping this. And 20 minutes later, I washed it off and both of my eyes were like this. So thankfully, this one has cleared up. This one is still doing what it's doing. So there's an ingredient in that shadow that I am having an allergic reaction to. So this is, you know what this is. I'm just hoping I can pronounce everything correctly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's what it looks like when I take it out. I do have on powder foundation, the MAC NC43. It has Verona, which is the inspiration for this palette. And my eye is tearing, so I'm having trouble reading because it's blurry. The destination, maybe I'll do this tomorrow, but let's just do it now. The destination made famous by the story of Romeo and Juliet, Verona, with its picturesque piazzas, charming cafes, and immaculate architecture, is the perfect setting for any love story. Let me hold up the palette so you can see it. There is other stuff in here too, but this is the box. Excuse me. And the packaging looks like the box. I'm going to hold up the box though because it's less reflective while I'm reading off of the card. Historic city with youthful energy and its enchanting place to visit during Valentine's season as odes to the star-crossed lovers are on full display. Follow the story from Juliet's balcony and the house of Romeo to the tomb where the tragedy unfolds, all the while enjoying the city's amorous gems along the way. The palette, I'll try not to blind you. The palette, fiery love and sorrowful death. Love blossoms on the left with pink blushes and rich roses, turning into intense reds and scarlets of passionate love. Death consumes the right with cool tones of woeful grays, tragic blues, deep violets, and the completeness of black. 12 mattes and 6 shimmers. The cause, because Nomad supports the cause with every palette, which is awesome. We are proud to support World Wildlife Fund that protects all animals, including lovebirds. And of course, they have a personalized note here. There was also a card in here. Dear Juliet. Uh-oh. I'm not going to read all of this. Oh, wow. I will put this in a pinned comment. Oh, wait a minute. I am going to read this. And there's an envelope in here. You see that address? Italy. And this is to mail back to Nomad. And they put a forever stamp on there, so you don't even have to pay postage. This is something. What does this say? This says, there's a place in Verona where people suffer, can leave a message to ask Juliet for help. Letters to Juliet. Tell your love story or ask for advice from Juliet and receive a reply from the most famous heroine in literature. This is awesome. Instructions. Write your letter to Juliet on the other side of this card. That side. Number 2, enclose the card in the enclosed envelope addressed to Juliet in Verona and write your mailing address. Excuse me, and write your return address on the envelope. So that's this one. Number 4, drop off the prepaid envelope. That's this one. To us, Nomad Cosmetics. Number 4, drop off the prepaid envelope in any U.S. Postal Service mailbox. Number 5, upon receiving it, we will mail your envelope internationally to Juliet and Verona. Number 6, wait patiently, and you'll receive a reply of love advice from the heroine. This is freaking awesome. Oh my gosh. You can find more information about the Juliet Club in Verona at www.julietclub.com. This is freaking awesome. I have never in my makeup life encountered anything like that. So again, this is the front of the box. This is the back of the box. It shows the story. Love darkens to red, and then the grays going into the black. So that is the story. I'm not going to, well, yeah, I am. I'm going to keep reading with my one good non-teary eye. Lovely velvety shades formulated with extra fine pigments for deathly rich color, infused with cocoa seed butter to help keep the skin supple and colors alive. 12 pigmented mattes and 6 striking shimmers divided into fiery hues of love and sorrowful shadows of death, inspired by stories of romance and tragedy in Verona, Italy. This is awesome. After you open this, this is good for 12 months, according to the open container on the back of the packaging. So the period after opening, this is supposed to be good for is at least 12 months. And you see this reflectiveness. I love that. This is giving me Haunted Europe vibes, like the different colors and the reflection. So this is the palette, and it opens like this. There's a mirror on both sides. And we're gonna take off the paper. And these are the shades. Let me see how I can do this. So this is what it looks like. This is a very different kind of palette. I forget the one that they pulled from the market shortly after release that was dual-sided like this. And of course, I didn't even know about that until years later. So we're going to swatch the shades on our forehead. We're going to do red, 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 gray, 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 just to see if there's similarities between the reds. I imagine there's no similarities on this side. On me sometimes, because I have like an olivey undertone, shades do show up different on me. This is Paradise, and this is a larger palette. It's 18 shades. This is the one next to it. I remember seeing on one of their Instagram posts, this is Cupid, that 2 of the shades were toppers. That's this one right here that I just swatched. And so that is definitely a dual chrome. And the one next to it, this is Balcony. Also, there are really nice embossments in the shadows. Balcony, it has a balcony. Paradise has like a sun in it. Rose, which we're going to do now, actually has a rose in it. That is this one. So those two may look similar on me. Love has a heart with the N symbol in it for Nomad. That's this shade. That's fiery. That's nice. This is Romeo. There's a picture in here, but I'm not sure what it is. I think it might be one of those masks that people wear and they hold up. That's this shade right here. So we're going to swatch that one again and put that on top of where it is. I will put over here the information on the palette. So that appears not to be a dual chrome, just a high intense shimmer. We're going down to the last row for the red, and this is light, and it is a picture of a light inside of it, the emblem. So these two to me look similar too, even though this is a little more orangey fiery. So these two will most likely look similar on my lids, and these two will most likely look similar. And this is Comedy. You know what it is? It's a picture of like, I don't want to say a clown mask, but like a happy mask. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it. And I've seen it before. Like a comedy mask. That was this shade. And I know you're not probably this symbol right here. So if you can see it there. There you go. I think I saw it. And no, I'm not seeing things. The last red, it has a pen and an ink jar, like a quill, I think they call it. And actually this one is called Quill. How did I even remember that? That is really nice. So looking at this first impressions just off of swatches, it does reduce versatility for me when shades do show up the same on me. These two I am sure will look the same if placed side by side on my lid. These two will look the same on me if placed side by side. I am thinking this would look good on its own in a corner because it is a dual chrome. This one I believe is a topper. This one shows up quite nice as well. So we're moving over to the dark side. This is Tomb, and it's a picture of like a casket. So we're gonna put that under here. Oh my gosh. This is a really unique palette. And we're going over to Moore's, M-O-R-S. I'm not sure what that symbol is. This one is feeling like it's a topper as well by how it's picking up. That's this shade right here. I'm gonna swatch it again. I'm not sure what that picture is. So that is what that is looking like. And next to that is Inferno. And it has a picture of a flame inside. Nomad really nails it with the embossments and the shadow names. Those look nice. I'm digging these too. And I don't prefer me and cool tones. This one's Juliet, and it's a heart, a broken heart actually. But if they're cool, leaning neutral, and depending on what I put them next to, that's nice too. That's this one right here, the broken heart Juliet. And next to her is black, and it has the N symbol for Nomad in this shadow. That is a nice black. That is really nice and really smooth. And next to that is Poison, and it's a jar with the poison symbol in it, the skull with an X through it. And that is what this one looks like. That is really nice. Really deep, rich blue. And then Dagger, which is two swords crossing. That is this one. I'm wanting to say this reminds me a little bit of Haunted Europe, which I'm excited about because that's one of my favorite Nomad palettes. But I'm really loving the boldness and brightness of these shades, but I'm loving the depth and the versatility of the dark shades. And this is Tragedy, and it's a mask embossment. This is a little flaky, and maybe I'm just rubbing too hard. And actually the pan is moving inside the palette as I'm swirling to get the shadow on my sponge tip. This reminds me, oh, you see that? It's purple and now it's green. I was going to say like this, it reminds me of a shade from Haunted Europe, but like this, it does not. Wow. And the last one is dark, and it's a moon with dots around it, a half moon, a crescent moon with dots around it. So this is the last shade in the palette, and I do like this as well. I like this shade. I'm seeing some looks already. So this is the entire palette swatched on, let me get the glares and stuff off. The entire palette swatched on my forehead. Hopefully you're seeing some looks. I'm seeing a few looks. I am seeing some shades I really like. And some, as I said, I'm just like, because they may show up the same. Well, I can tell by looking at them, some of them will show up the same on my lid. But because this is an 18-pan palette, I do have enough in here to play with and to be content with. And thank you, Nomad, for sending me this palette. I'm excited to have it. And my first look will be up on Monday. Be sure to watch that. I will tag Jam below so that you can click on her name and go straight to her channel. And you will see me and her, and I'm sure quite a few other people with this palette before it launches. Let me know what your initial thoughts are. And I do hope that this was helpful, just seeing the color story. It is definitely different, and that's one of the things I really like about it. I'm really excited, you can probably guess, by the dark side, because that's where I live, is the dark, smoky, cringy type stuff. And so I'm going to go. I'm not going to prolong this, but yeah, Nomad Verona Amore Morte. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, but that's what it says over here. Verona Love and Death in English. Not in my cracked troll Italian trying to read. So I'm going to go seriously. Thank you for being here, and you will see me soon.